The Vatican Criminal Court has just prosecuted a cardinal, which is the highest official ever to be prosecuted by that particular jurisdiction. Not only was he prosecuted, but he was found guilty and sentenced to 5.5 years in a story that looks like it's out of a spy novel. Let me break it down for you. This is Cardinal Angelo Becciu, who has just been found guilty by the Cardinal Angelo Becciu, who has just been found guilty of embezzlement and sentenced to 5.5 years. Now, he's a big deal in the Vatican. How big a deal is he? This guy held the position of substitute in the Holy See Secretary of State. He was basically the papal chief of staff. He was on the committee that decides who canonizes saints. And he had walk-in privileges to see the Pope. He could walk in and be like, "Yo, Pope, let's discuss this matter." He was even considered a contender for future Pope. So we're talking about a very important person in this hierarchy. So what was the trial actually about? Well, it involved a property in swinging Chelsea in southwest London. It was a huge property that was originally designed to be a car showroom for the department store Harrods. So you know it's in a nice part of town. They spent about $400 million on the deal over several years, but ended up cutting their losses $150 million after the Vatican eventually sold the asset. The Vatican argued that the church was swindled out of millions of dollars by paying way too much for the property, while a series of middlemen made huge sums of money, and those people in charge of the deal were negligent, either deliberately or otherwise. So what began was a $200 million investment, of which an Italian financier based in London owned 45%, the Holy Church owned 55%, and that investment was approved by Cardinal Becciu. The plan was to turn this fancy showroom into apartments, but they say that the building had secretly been overvalued, and the Secretariat of State was not informed of a $75 million mortgage on the property. Now, his successor attempted to buy the property outright, but he would have to pay a hefty fee to the financier. Then another financier was brought in to help buy the deal, but in structuring the deal, he basically sold the Vatican something worthless, and they had to pay millions to get out of this dodgy deal. Now, there were 10 defendants in the case. Some were convicted on some counts, acquitted on others, but Cardinal Becciu was convicted and is to serve 5.5 years in custody. One of the Pope's stated aims was to ensure that the Vatican Bank and all of the murky financial dealings, including double dealing and conflicts of interest, were resolved. And this was seen as a critical test of that. And the fact that he was convicted speaks volumes about the fact that someone this important and this powerful still falls under the subject scrutiny of the church. This is without a doubt the most interesting case. It is going to shape and change the way that people do business with the bank, and really be a test case for what scrutiny should and shouldn't be attracted to deals involving the Vatican. Follow me for more legal TikTok.